Welcome back to Wild West Van Life. Just doing a project here on the van. Gonna install a big, large watted amp and sub. So this is what we got going on here. It's supposed to be I looked it up. It's supposed to be a 1500 watt amp. It's got the hookups and everything on the side here. So what I'm gonna do is install it right there on this cabinet. And the door that was here, I took off. And I'm gonna move the door down enough room to fit this amp here, and then just butt the door up against that. And put myself a little bit of sound in my old van here. So that's where we're at. We'll to be continued as the project goes. I didn't bother setting up my tripod with my cell phone and everything with the tripod because it's cold out here right now. And I didn't want to bring out all that stuff. And as you can see, I've got a hell of a mess going on in my van here right now just because this one tiny project. So I'm just going to pause it here and continue on, and I'll let you know how the progress goes. Well, it's another day, so try to hook up this sub amp in my van. Tore my van all apart. Made a big mess in here. And wired it all up, got everything going good. So bought it off Facebook Marketplace, and looks like don't work. It's got power, but it's a no-go. So it's right down there. Let's see if I can get this here. It's right down there. It's all hooked up and everything. But anyways, the light comes on and there's nothing to go with it. No sound, not even a hum or nothing, so that was a fail. So now I gotta take it all out. And I guess I'm just gonna have to order a brand new one because turns out they're not all that expensive anyways. But the only thing I will say about it is I seem to always have bad luck with Facebook Marketplace, but the guy that sold it to me, he was a man of his word. He said if I had troubles, I could get my money back, and he came here, looked it over, and gave me my money back and left the amp with me and said if I could figure out what's wrong with it or whatever. But I don't know. Take it out and I got to bust it open and see why it's not working, or if it's anything like the circuit board. It's got the built-in amp and everything, so could be a lot of things. Or maybe I'm hoping a wire just came off on the speaker or something. I don't know, but it sucks. A lot of work. I had to change all my cabinets, change all the stuff, pull out all my doghouse, pull out all my mattress and bedding and everything, and it just made a big old mess in here, and I got a junk everywhere. So again, to be continued, I guess. Talk to you later. Hello again, everyone. I'm not sure how this is working out. I have a microphone right here. Just hanging out here in the Tim Hortons parking lot, trying to set up and do a little bit of a podcast or whatever you want to call it, a video. I'm running into complications because I told you guys before I'm very terrible at technology. So if I got this microphone going, that's great. But I'll know when I'm done in this video when I check it back. But I just wanted to say a couple of days ago there, I was messing around with trying to hook up a sub and amp into my little humble home here. That didn't go over so good, but anyways, I figured out what was wrong with it. It turns out the sub itself was a no-go. So cut the wires, hooked it up directly straight to just a stereo. Couldn't get a sound out of it, but I hooked up the amp to my 6x9s and put the wires to the 6x9s, tried it out. Amp works fine. Tried adjusting the knobs and stuff on the amp, and so all that's good. But to get a speaker for this little box. It's like 2.25, maybe 2.5 inches thick altogether, including the magnet. So I don't know if I can even buy that to replace it. Went online, can't seem to find a replacement speaker for the. So I'm gonna go to one of these stores in this town and see if what they can recommend. But I'm assuming this amp and sub combo is from China. I'm not sure, but anyways, it's not as many as watts as they say it is either. But anyways, I know I got an amp if I need that, but I need a sub. I'm not looking for big volume power. Um, I'm getting too old for that stuff. My poor ears are ringing these days as it is. So I just like to have a little bit more bass than my 6x9s, and for whenever I'm parked somewheres and I want to listen to a little bit of music and stuff like that. So I'm just chilling here in the parking lot, trying to get this thing going. I'll turn my camera around here. So I got my Jackery and my gimbal right here. I'm charging up my gimbal. Um, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. It's frustrating. So um, I left a box of manuals at my son's house, and so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. But it was working fine when I was setting it up, and it was following me. And I thought, okay, well, where am I going to put it in my van, and to get a good view of everything or whatever. But as soon as I pressed record, um, it was fine again. Um, but my mic wasn't working, so I thought, well, I'll have to stop here to see what's going on there. And whatever I did, I don't know how all this works. I know this mic is Bluetooth. My gimbal, I'm pretty sure, is just Wi-Fi, but it might be Bluetooth too. I don't know. Um, but I knocked something out, and now I can get it to turn on. I can get it to push on face recognition, and it shows the square where my face is, and then it just follows and goes away. And then it goes into upside down limp mode. I try to manually put it back, get it on my face, and same thing. As soon as I let the phone go, it starts moving around, and then it buggers off again. And then when I was recording the first time, I was talking away to you guys. I deleted that video because somehow it died. My phone stopped videotaping. My phone was really hot. So, like I said, for me to understand this stuff and learn this stuff, it's very tricky for me. So I'll add this little evening moment to this video. So what I'm trying to do is I got a little bit of the amp footage, this footage, and then see what else I could do. What I'm going to do is do little bits and pieces through my week, and then try to edit it and see how that works out. Because I know when I did my short video of my pictures of my van, that took 3.5, 4 hours almost. I put a lot of work into it, but as the video itself doesn't seem like there's a lot into it, but it was a lot of work for me. I'm glad it successfully went, but and I'm getting good views on it, which is nice, so I'm happy about that. And I picked up a few more subscribers, which is beautiful, people, so thank you for that. But you're talking to an old dog here that's terrible around technology, and I'm trying my best to learn it. I'm going to get it eventually, but the problem is with me is if I spend the day at it and I mess around and read the instructions and do my thing and play with it, everything's comes to me and I can get it figured out. If I get back into it the very next day or maybe the second day after that, I can partially remember everything I've done. But if I leave it for a week or two or a month, then it's like can't remember anything. And now I don't got my manual with me. I left that box and stuff at my son's house, so now I gotta venture back there and get that. But not today. So I just wanted to pop on here and give you a little update of what I'm doing. So I'll tell you though, it's like in the 20s negative Celsius here with the wind chill. Um, it's a pretty chilly night. I got my van running here, so you probably can hear it in the background. Um, and my furnace is going, of course. Uh, that's another issue I have when I turn on my lights, and I'll show you here. I got my roof lights that I installed at Christmas time there for my little Christmas video. And then I got these lights here that belong to the inside of the interior of the van. And that's it. That's the only thing that's operating those things. But it was killing the battery pretty quick. So I had a situation with that before too. And it was underneath this bed. There's a box on the side of my van where the battery goes. And I'll just straighten this out here. It's right under here. Anyways, there's a box there where my battery goes. And then I got the wires, the heavy wire coming through the wall down underneath my bed. And then I got a little junction box there where I can hook up different lives to it. And I use the body of my van for ground. And that main bolt for that big wire was loose. And that's why I was having charging issues there before on my previous video or videos. And I, for life of me, went through everything, trying to figure it out, and checked my alternator, checked all this other stuff, and switched out the battery in the wall. I still have the other battery because I put it on the tester and it seemed fine. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. So I threw a different battery on, one that was fairly new and basically brand new. And I put that one on, and so I don't know. I don't use the fridge. I don't use this fridge here in my van. So I snipped the wires because the buttons underneath the fridge, the panel with the wording's gone. So I got 3 knobs, and I'm trying to figure out the knobs to because you got 12 volts fridge, then you got the shore plug 110 volts or 120 volts, and then you got the battery. So I couldn't get it to work or figure out which one. And I tried all selections, but the people I bought this van off of, they said all that worked, and it didn't work. So I know that when I snipped the wires, I'll show you again here. Sorry for flipping back. I got this little thing here on my wall. Tells me my volts and stuff like that. It's got USB ports, and it's got the fuse right here, and then it's got the cigarette lighter here. So I put that there, and so that's running my lights up there for now. And then the cigarette lighter is what I use for this fridge here, my EcoFlow. So everything seems fine when I got all that going, but all I know is when I cut the wires for the fridge, the voltage on the wall there stopped showing that it was drawing power. So I snipped them wires to save that from draining my battery, because I don't use that fridge anyways. and I capped off the wires, make sure it's safe, of course. And so now the only thing that's running is these little lights, and I don't know. I'm running into issues lately, and it's hard when you're in this town and it's so cold out. You know, it's the temperature's been really brutal, and then we've had a lot of freezing rain, and it's so to work on this van is you got to pick your moments. And now, I'll flip the camera around here again. So bring you over here to my dash. When I put my four ways on, they're not flashing. When I use my signal light on the right, not flashing. Left is flashing. But the left doesn't always work. Sometimes none of them flash. So I have to manually find a happy medium spot here. I've done it a few times, but anyways, so I bought a heavy duty flasher, put that in, and then fix it. So I'm not. If anybody out there understands these old school things, I used to know this stuff like the back of my hand, but I can't get it to flash, and it's driving me nuts. That just started about a week ago, so I have to sit there at intersections and stuff and manually click it back and forth. Just click, 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 click with my hand. Um, Thankfully, I haven't been pulled over yet. But, anyways, that's a. So I don't know what's going on because everything was fine when I was up in Grad Catch there at the end of the summer, and I had charging issues there, and I had to limp my van all the way back to Grand Prairie, which was brutal in the strong rains. So that video there, if you guys want to go check that out, you can. But there's not much on the video of the raining part. It's just it was brutal. So that trip was cut real short. So now I'm dealing with other issues here. Um, I just don't get it because if anybody understands, uh, I don't know if this signal light arm on my van, uh, I changed that arm because that had wore out, and I picked up a new one, and I put that in, and everything was great. And I've never had any issues ever with any of that until about a week and a half or so ago. It stopped flashing on one side, and I was like, "Well, what's going on now?" So I checked all my bulbs outside. All my bulbs were good, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll go pick up a flasher and try it out." So I picked up the flasher and put it in, and I got a heavy duty one. And I'm pretty sure when I bought the van, I put a new one in it because I always like doing that stuff. When I get a different rig, I just go through all the little stuff and make it all fresh, so then I don't have any grief. Well, it was a heavy duty one that was in it, and it looks like one that I put in it. So I was like, well, why would that be gone? Because usually those heavy duties last a lifetime, right? So anyways, I pulled it out, put another one in it. Same thing. So whenever this van is super cold, if it's sitting out frosty and I don't have anything going in here, and like say I'm doing whatever, um, I don't know if that's what's causing the lights to do that with the four ways, but I I don't know if that arm switch on the inside of the steering column where the arm flexes up and down, I don't know if that switch is what's gone. I'm assuming it is. So I got to pull off steering wheel and all that stuff again, and I don't know, try some electrical cleaner and see if that helps or whatever. I don't like spraying too much stuff like that, but I'll do whatever I got to do to get it going. Or does my four ways run off of that switch? because I know they're all intertwined together. But I didn't. I'm a little confused about the four ways not flashing. Usually that's the flasher. So I don't know. But this weather sucks, and I'll figure it out. I always figure out everything because once I get into it, but I just gotta get some decent weather to make that happen. Because if I gotta trace every wire underneath my hood and trace every wire in my dash and all that stuff, well, that's what you gotta do. Um, I will get it figured out. But because this thing is so old, I just hope that I can get the parts in the steering column if that's what's wrong. And if not, then I gotta either track down an old school steering column from somewhere, and good luck with that. I'm not good at making that stuff because I don't know if the vans are the same as the square body pickup trucks. I'm assuming they are, but still, I always said to myself, well, maybe I'll change my steering column and put a tilt one in. Um, but right now, I just need to work because I don't need to get any fines or tickets or get into any accidents because my flashers aren't working properly. So that's my next situation. So I'm just going to cut it here and piece this together with something else later on and let you know. So tomorrow's another day, right? All right. This is it for this moment. Take care.